Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn to Earn. So I haven't posted any video for quite some time because of project deadlines and work commitments. But now I will try to continue posting videos regularly. So I have also received several emails and messages from you regarding appreciation, queries and requests for different SAP topics. Thank you so much to everyone for your support, appreciation and for taking the time to send your queries. So I will definitely try my best to cover your queries and bring more useful SAP SD content through my upcoming videos. So let's continue our SAP SD series. Okay. So in our previous session, we discussed item category control using transaction VOV7. There we understood what an item category is, what different controls we can maintain for an item category. But now one important question comes in: when we create sales order and enter a material, how does SAP actually decide which item category should be assigned to that item? Okay, like for example, how does SAP know whether item should be standard business scenario, whether it is free of charge or third party process or any other scenario or any other item category? Okay, so this automatic determination is controlled through item category determination. Okay, and the transaction code used for item category determination is VOV4. Please note down this T code. For item category determination, we are using T code as VOV4. Okay. So in today's session, we are going to understand VOV4 from the basic. So we will go through each important field one by one. Okay. And understand what each field means and where the values come from. Okay. And then finally, we will do practical system demonstration. Okay. So let's get started. Now, before going into system, okay, let's first understand what item category determination actually means. Okay, so the item category determination is the process through which SAP automatically determines the appropriate item category for an item in a sales document. Okay, so we already know from our VOV7 sessions that item category controls how an item behaves in the sales process. For example, different item categories have different controls related to pricing, billing, delivery, schedule lines, and other sales process. Okay, so SME needs a logic to determine which item category should be assigned to that particular item. Okay, so this is where VOV4 comes into the picture. So SAP looks at the combination of different values and find the matching entry in VOV4 and then determines the default item category. Now let's understand which values SAP uses for the determination. Okay. So the main determination criteria. Okay, so the main determination criteria are sales document type, then item group, category group, item category usage, higher level item category, and then default item category. Okay, so based on this combination, SAP determines the default item category. So you can think of VOV4 as a decision table. Okay, so the first few fields are input condition like sales document type, item category group, usage, higher level item category. Okay, these are the input condition and default item category is our output. Okay, let's now go into the system. Now let's go into the controls and understand each field one by one. Okay, so again, I will use T code as a VOV4. Okay. Then this screen will appear. Okay. So initially you may see quite few tables entries. Okay. So we will understand one by one. Okay. Now here generally we are using standard order type as a OR. Okay. So I will pass as a OR. Okay, now this is a sales document type. First field is sales document type for which we want SAP to determine the item category. Okay, so when we create a sales order using order type as a OR, SAP will look for a relevant VOV4 entries where the sales document type is OR. So in our configuration, we can see several entries for OR. Okay, so this is because the same sales document type can have different item category determination depending on the other values in the combination. So remember, sales document type is one of the inputs SAP takes from sales document itself. Like say while creating the standard order, okay, there are multiple line items. Like first one is a main item, then we are like there is one sub line item like free of charge item. Okay, so this document can have multiple line items. Okay, so remember, sales document type is one of the input parameter SAP takes from the sales document type itself. Okay, so the same document type can have different item category determination. Okay, after this we have item category group. Okay, so this is very important field because an item category group is maintained in the material master. When we create or maintain a material, an item categories group is assigned to that material. Okay, so for example, norm is commonly used for standard material scenario, right? So where is norm? Here I go to position, select item categories norm. Okay, so norm is a commonly used for standard material scenarios. So when I enter material in the sales order, SAP can determine the item category group assigned to that material. So SAP then uses item category group along with the sales document type and other determination criteria to find the appropriate VOV4 entry. Okay, like see, while creating the sales order, if I have used sales document type as a OR and I have used material with item category group norm, then system will determine the default item category. But again, there are several other key combinations as well. Okay, which I will explain. So then next one is item category usage. Okay, so this will provide an additional criteria for item category determination. So in a normal standard scenario, this field can be blank. But in certain business scenario, item category usage can be used for differentiate one determination scenario from other. So if a particular usage is maintained in the determination table, SAP considers that value while looking for a matching entry. Okay. So in our first standard OR and norm example, the usage field is blank. Okay, that means no specific item category usage is being used for this particular determination. Next we have this one H. Here we can see. Okay, so it stands for higher level item category. So this field is mainly relevant when we are dealing with these sub items. Okay, let's understand this with simple example. Suppose I have a main item with item category tan. Okay, tan is a standard item category. Now I have another item which is sub item of the main item. So in such scenario, the item category of the main item can be used as higher level item category for determining the sub item. Okay, so SAP can use the higher level item category as an additional input to determine the item category of the sub item. So for a normal main item, this field is generally blank. Next one is a default item category. Okay, so this is item category that SAP will automatically propose when the determination condition match this particular entry. For example, okay, if sales document type is OR and item category is norm, usage is blank, then higher level category is also blank and the default item category is tan. Then SAP will determine tan for that combination. Okay, so the previous fields are basically our input condition and default item category is our result. Okay, this is the value that we normally see the automatically populated in the sales order. So in simple terms, VOV4 takes the input combination and gives us default item category as a output. Okay, then next we have manual item category. Okay, so these fields are used to maintain alternative item categories that can be selected manually depending upon the configuration and business requirement. So there is difference between default item category and manual item category. So the default item category is the category that SAP automatically proposes. So the manual item category represents an alternative category that can be selected manually when allowed and required. Okay. Now let's take this particular entry to understand the complete combination. Here we have sales document type as OR. So OR represents the standard sales order. Next we have item category as norm. This norm value comes from item category group maintained in the material master. Okay, the usage is blank. Then a higher level item category is also blank. So this is a normal main item determination scenario. And now we have tan as a default item category. Therefore, when we create a sales order with document type OR and enter a material having item category norm, then SAP finds this matching combination and determines tan as a item category. We can also see CB2 and CBLN maintained as manual item category. These are alternative item categories that can be manually selected where permitted by the configuration. Okay, now that we understand the configuration, let's see whether a change in VOV4 actually impacts the sales order. Now we can see currently for our OR and norm combination, default item category is tan. So whenever this combination is found, SAP will determine tan. Now, now I will create one sales order. So to create sales order, T code is VA01, main input parameters. Once you enter the material, and just scroll, and here you can see item category is determined as a tan. Okay. Now I will show you the material as well. So to check this item category group, go to MM03, pass material, select required views. Okay. So here you can see item category group. Okay. So while creating this order, I have used sales document type as OR and I have used material with item category norm. So according to key combination, tan is determined. Okay. Now here I will change the item category group as a TANN. And now I will save this configuration. Go back. Now let's go to the sales order and check the results. Again, I will create a sales order using same document type OR. I will use same input parameters. Click on enter. Here you can see item category is determined as a TANN. Okay. Earlier, with the same determination configuration, system was determining TAN, but after changing the default item category in VOV4 from TAN to TANN, the system is now determining the TANN. So this is clearly demonstrates how VOV4 controls the automatic determination of the item category. Okay, now let's understand the impact of this change. So TAN, TAN and TANN are different item categories, and each item category can have different controls maintained in VOV7. Okay, so TAN is generally used for a standard item, whereas TANN is a commonly used for free of charge item in a standard SAP. Therefore, once TANN is determined, the item will behave according to the controls maintained for TANN in VOV7. For example, depending on the configuration, pricing, billing relevance, delivery relevance, and other item level behaviors can be different. Okay, so changing the item category is not just a changing a code on the screen, it can change the complete processing behavior of that item. Okay, so remember VOV4 determines what item category the system should use, whereas VOV7 determines how that item category should behave. Okay, now let's quickly connect this with our previous VOV7 session. So in VOV4, we determine the item category. So once the item category is determined, SAP applies that control that we have maintained for that item category in VOV7. So VOV4 and VOV7 are closely connected. VOV4 is about determination and VOV7 is about controls. Okay, let's now summarize the complete determination logic. Okay, okay, so first SAP knows the sales order document type as a OR, then we enter the material. SAP gets that item category group from material master. Then SAP also considers item category usage if applicable. If we are dealing with sub item, SAP can also consider the higher level item category. SAP then searches for a matching combination in VOV4. Once the matching entry is found, SAP takes the default item category from that entry. That item category is then assigned to the sales order item. And finally, the controls maintained for that item category in VOV7 determines how the item behaves. Okay, let's take our example one more time. Sales document type is OR, material has item category group norm, usage is blank, higher level item category is blank. VOV4 finds the matching combination. If the default item category is TAN, SAP determines TAN. If we change the default item category to TANN, SAP determines TANN. And then SAP will consider that item as a free of charge. Okay, and the control is maintained for TANN in VOV7 will apply. Okay, there are some important questions. So what is VOV4? First question is, what is VOV4? So VOV4 is the transaction code used for item category determination in SAP SD. Second question, what are the main fields used in item category determination? So the main fields are sales document type, item category group, item category usage, and higher level item category. Third question, where is item category group maintained? So item category group is maintained in material master. Fourth, what is default item category? So default item category is the item category that SAP automatically proposes when the determination combination matches the VOV4 configuration. Next, what is higher level item category? So higher level item category is mainly used for determining the item category of sub items based on item category of the higher level or a main item. Now, difference between VOV4 and VOV7. So VOV4 determines the item category, whereas VOV7 defines the controls and behavior of that item category. Okay. Now since we have changed item category from TAN to TANN, I will now restore this one. Okay, so to summarize today's session, we understood item category determination using VOV4. Okay, we understood the important determination field, sales document type, item category group, usage, higher level item category, default item category, and manual item category. So we also understood where the values come from and how SAP uses this value to determine the item category. And most importantly, we performed a practical demonstration by changing the default item category. Okay, so the key point to remember is VOV4 determines the item category and VOV7 controls the behavior of that item category. So I hope this video helped you to understand item category determination in simple and practical way. If you found this video useful, please like the video, subscribe to learn to earn, and share it with anyone who is learning SAP SD. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned.